I'm definitely struggling to make new friends. Like, after college, it's been so fucking hard. Especially if you're an introvert. Like, I'm pretty introverted. And it's so difficult to, like, want to go out and extend myself into such uncomfortable scenarios to try to meet new people who I may or may not even vibe with. And most of the time I don't. Most of the time, like, nothing against most people, but I just don't like most people. And that's probably why I'm introverted. It's not like I dislike them or anything, it's just that we just don't vibe, you know? But the craziest thing is that even though I'm really introverted, it was way easier to try to be a little more extroverted when I was in Japan. Because to be completely honest, I was not sure how to find new people. Because it feels like for me, like personally, all my life, my friends and all my circles have just sort of just happened. It's all just like by chance. And nothing has ever been like me going out to meet new people and make new friends. I only recently can say that I went out of my way to create new friends. And I'm 25. It took me this long in my life to say that I can finally say that I went out of my way to try to meet new people. And for me, at least, the way that that happened was I recently went over to Japan because I needed to go take care of my mother and some other stuff that came up. But during the day, I would do my best to take care of my mom. And then at night, I would just go out and go bar hopping or whatever and just like do my own thing. And the thing is that in Japan, I don't have any friends. Sure, I was born there, but I go back so infrequently that the last time I was there was 6 years ago. And even 6 years ago, I was 19. I can't even drink back then. So it wasn't like I could go out and like, oh, like meet all these new people or whatever. So this was my first time experiencing like nightlife in Japan and being able to just kind of do whatever the fuck I wanted to. So I went out and I got to experience all of nightlife, right? And so I went bar hopping, I think every single night I was there, except for 2 days. I drank like every night for about 2.5 weeks straight. And it was not great for my liver, but it was a really great experience trying to meet like all these new people, whatever. And in Japan, it's a lot easier, at least for me, to meet new people because even though I'm very introverted, because I'm a foreigner who happens to speak the language there, I'm able to share these experiences that I have over in the United States. And for them, it's like, oh, like really interesting and new, you know, because it's not every day that you meet somebody from America who can, you know, perfectly speak Japanese just fine, at least over there. Here it's a little different, but over there it's like it's kind of like a not so common occurrence, especially because I kind of live in more of the countryside, not super country, like it's Kobe. I'm from Kobe and that's where I was like bar hopping for the most part, but it's not something that happens very often over there, at least. So for me, it's like as soon as I came in, I kind of come off as a foreigner to them. According to one of the bartenders that I was talking to, I came off as a foreigner because of the amount of eye contact that I made, because I guess apparently people who are younger in Japan don't make a lot of eye contact. And then also just by my demeanor, I guess he said that like my body language is very more open, if that makes sense. Anyways, it comes off very quickly that I happen to not just be from Japan. So I end up always being able to have a conversation of some sort, whether it's with the bartender, whether it's other people who happen to be there and overhear that, hey, like, yeah, I happen to just be from America, I'm visiting for like a short period of time or whatever. But then like that was so easy for me to meet new people because we already had something to talk about, which was cultural differences. But here in America, it's like we have culture everywhere. You go to New York, you go to Boston, you go to Chicago, you go to LA, whatever, there's culture everywhere. So it's not like the cultural differences is really like the first thing that you want to talk about right off the bat, right? So for me, it's like I don't really know how to approach new people, whether it's at bars, whether it's at like places like cafes or whatever. I have no idea how to talk to people at cafes. There have been times where I've wanted to approach somebody at a cafe because I thought that they looked really nice, or like maybe I just thought I found them attractive or whatever, but I had never once in my life approached somebody at a cafe. Because for me, if I go to a cafe, I'm trying to get work done, or maybe I'm going to go catch up with a friend, and I don't want other people to sort of approach me unless they're cute, right? But I feel like that's like always the case, like unless they're cute. But like one of my best friends, she is just like, oh, just approach them. Thanks, like great advice, bro, but how, right? And like, I guess you have to always kind of like play that game of like, oh, do they want to talk to me? Do they not want to talk to me? Sometimes people are just trying to be polite and they'll just like respond to whatever you're asking, but I guess like, you know, they don't actually want to be there, right? It's so awkward because I really care about, you know, I want to make sure that the other person's comfortable. And if they're uncomfortable with me asking them questions and trying to get to know them, which especially for me, I'm from the East Coast, we don't fucking do that shit over here. It's very mind your own damn business and stay in your lane sort of situation. So I don't really know how to talk to new people, at least like strangers, especially at quiet areas like cafes or wherever I may be, because that's where I usually frequent. I frequent cafes and stuff. I never really go to bars, at least in America, or clubs in America as well. Because like the thing is that the bars in America are kind of like, they're kind of dirty almost. They're more like pubs. But in Japan, bars are more like speakeasies. And so because it's such a stark difference, I prefer the speakeasies. But at least where I'm living at right now, we got no fucking speakeasies anywhere around here. And even so, even if I do go to one, it's like the clientele and everyone is all white, and that is not, there's no like racist like, oh, not I hate white people like that. No, it's not what it is. It's just that I feel a lot more comfortable talking to people who happen to be Asian, just because I feel like I'm pretty grounded within my roots to at least a certain degree, where I feel a lot more comfortable talking to Asian people, so we have sort of that cultural understanding. And like, it feels a lot easier to talk to somebody who grew up with the same experiences as I did, because you can talk to anybody about this. You grow up as an Asian in America, you grow up as a white person in America, you grow up as a black person in America. It's got a completely different experience, right? So for me, at least, meeting with strangers and stuff, I just prefer talking to Asian people, just because, again, just that cultural connection, as faint as it may be, is still a feeling of familiarity that I really enjoy. With that being said though, like, it's hard. I want to go out and try to meet new people, but at the same time I'm like terrified, because I know what it's like to be on the receiving end, where somebody is like trying to come up to me and ask me questions and stuff and trying to get to know me, which is very nice and I appreciate it. But most of the time the people who have approached me, at least, are people that I just don't want to be approached by. I don't want to be that guy that approaches somebody and then they're just like, oh haha, yeah, I do XYZ, but you know, please stop talking to me. That gives me a lot of anxiety, you know. I don't really know if I want to be talking to those kinds of people. Here's the thing, in Japan, there's this really cool system called like the asobi bar, or asobi ba, I guess. But it's basically like, it sounds kind of, it's, in Japanese is a little different, but like the context in English actually sounds pretty interesting. But it's basically a bar, it's like a darts bar, but there's also like Mario Kart and like all these other things that you can do while you're there. And basically you just get like a little thing on your wrist, you get a little tag or whatever, you go with like a couple friends. Don't ever go alone, but you go with a couple friends or whatever, and then you basically just go in, have a good time. Drinks are, it's all you can drink, because it costs like 80-90 bucks to get in, but you get in, all you can drink, have a good time, and the staff will actually do their best to try and merge like groups of people together. So for example, like when I was in Japan, I went with a friend of mine that I had made there, and we both went, and we went there as two guys, and we were just like, you know, just chilling, just like playing Mario Kart or whatever. And the staff was like, hey, like there's a group of girls, I want to introduce you guys, I think you guys would get along really well. And it's really cool that the staff is the ones who are kind of responsible for that kind of stuff, because then we just end up just like talking to new people. And sure, I didn't really vibe with the people that we met up with, but at the same time, the fact that at least that opportunity was there was super nice. And I kind of wish we had something like that in America, because like, I feel like the only places you meet people around your age just happen to be at work in your mid-20s, and maybe clubs or whatever, but I fucking hate clubs. It's hard as an introvert, I think. So I don't know. I don't really know how other introverts do it, or like how they end up finding people here, because like, sure, there are dating apps, but who the fuck enjoys dating apps? Nobody likes dating apps. And even then, if it's dating apps, it's like you're there for a different reason. Like, I'm not trying to find a significant other, I'm just trying to find friends to hang out with. I'm not gonna lie, I think part of the reason why I even tried to pursue social media, even to like a small extent, is because I think being able to share the stuff that I enjoy, being able to share the stuff that I like to talk about, I hope that opens up more people to just being aware as to who I am, and then hopefully that will branch out and I'll be able to meet some cool people. Even through TikTok and social media alone, like, I was able to meet a lot of really cool people. Haven't hung out with them in real life yet, for the most part, but being able to just at least talk to new people and at least be able to be like, hey, like, you know, like, we've never met in real life before, but at least I can call you like an acquaintance, right? Hopefully a friend. But I think that's kind of the reason why I wanted to start doing social media, even though I personally don't even like it. It's really fucking lonely being an introvert in your mid-20s and you want to meet new people, but your social anxiety is like crippling you down. It's hard. It's so hard. And then I'll go out and I'll like meet new people and I fucking hate it. It's so funny because I'll go through stages. I'll go through like 3 months of being like pretty content with where my life is. Not happy, but not like sad about it. And then I'll be like, damn, I kind of wish I had more friends or more people who would just like want to go out on like a Friday night. Because I don't have a lot of those. A lot of my friends don't want to go out all night. They're just like, yo, let's just play Valorant or whatever. Or let's just play some TFT. Actually, nobody even plays TFT, to be honest, out of most of my friends. I think everybody just plays Valorant or like something else. But most of my friends would rather just like stay home, play video games on like a Friday night, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But to do that every single week is like kind of depressing. And it's nice to have like new blood, new friends, new people to just be exposed to. But I know a lot of my friends struggle to meet new friends, myself included. For us, it's really just like our small circle of people. So it'd be nice to, you know, just have a couple more people to be able to just go out with and hang out and, you know, meet new people. But yeah, like what I was saying before, it comes in waves though. Like 3 months, I'll muster up the courage to go out, try to meet new people. Absolutely fucking hate it. Go back into my room, go back into my house, play video games for like 3 months, and then I'll go out and try again. Hate the experience, and just like the cycle of self-hatred almost. Like, why the fuck did I go out today when I could have just stayed home and I could have played video games with my buddies? But the thing is that like, I don't have a choice though, right? Like, I have to go out and meet new people. Or maybe I'll get really popular on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and then people will find me. That would be nice. But that's very unrealistic, right? So like, I really should go out and meet new people. It's fucking hard, you know? I wonder if other people are struggling too. I think that's sort of like the reason why I wanted to talk about this. Am I the only one struggling to find friends in their mid-20s? I feel like everybody is. But at the same time, I feel like nobody is. I feel like I go on Instagram and I go on whatever, and I see my friends' stories, and everybody's always out like talking to new people or hanging out with some new people or whatever. And then I'm always at home. I'm always at home. Is that a bad thing though? But is it a good thing? Not really. Part of me hopes that other people are struggling so I don't feel like such a loser. But another part of me really hopes that it isn't the case, because if it's not the case, then it means I need to do something to change myself. I sometimes really wish I was extroverted. I feel like life is a lot easier for extroverts. I hope one day I'm able to formulate that last friend group that I need in my life. The ones who are willing to go out a bit more, the ones who are willing to explore a bit more. And I feel like I'll find a lot of fulfillment through that. Until then, I'm just gonna talk in my room while I eat my fucking salad, which has gone pretty fucking cold at this point. I really hope I find that last friend group soon. I'm low-key losing my patience.